Let me reiterate. And I assure you that good people of Nigeria that will explore all legal and peaceful options to reclaim our mandates. We won the election, and we will prove it to Nigerians.
If Nigeria good, what are the five for Germany? You know the tire now. You know the tire now. You know the tire now. You know the tire now.
This is my first time of speaking, coming out to the media, and I thank all of you for your understanding. For me, it's a very simple thing is to speak to Nigerians who on the 25th of February trooped out en masse as committed citizens to participate in what all of us know as what are called existential election for supposedly free, fair, credible, presidential and National Assembly election. We enjoy, and in all things we give thanks to God. For me, number one thing is gratitude. Gratitude to God Almighty that continue to protect and bless our dear country, Nigeria. Number two is gratitude to Nigerians that participated in the election, answering the call as true citizens in our dear country. Number three is gratitude to those of Nigerians, especially the youth, that believed and worked tirelessly for a new Nigeria and trusting that new Nigeria on that thing and my good self. I thank them for their hard work. Gratitude to the obedience youths, those who believe that a new Nigeria is possible. And I say to them that a new Nigeria is possible, and we'll work for that new Nigeria that is possible. Their resilience, their hard work for a new Nigeria should not be waned. Daddy and I remain committed to that new Nigeria. I know how they'll be feeling now because of the way the elections have come and gone. The commitment and resilience of Nigerians, even in face of unwarranted barrack attacks, is a testimony that a new Nigeria is indeed possible. I look at people like Lady Jennifer Ifedi, who was stabbed but insisted on voting. And that gives me courage to believe that a new Nigeria is indeed possible. And there's so many other Nigerians. The election that we just witnessed have been conducted, and results announced as programmed. It is a clear version from electoral rules and guidelines as we were promised. This election did not meet the minimum standard expected of a free, transparent, credible, fair election. It will go down as one of the most controversial elections ever conducted in Nigeria. The good and hardworking people of Nigeria have again been robbed by our supposed leaders whom they trusted. However, let me humbly and most respectfully appeal to all Nigerians to remain peaceful, law-abiding, and conduct themselves in most responsible manner. Please be assured that Dati and I, and indeed all of us, this is not the end, but the beginning of the journey for a birth of new Nigeria. Dati Baba Ahmed and I remain absolutely undaunted and deeply committed to the project of a new Nigeria that will be built on honesty, transparency, fairness, justice, equity. All the above starts with the process. The process through which people come into office is far more fundamental, more important than what they do thereafter. It's my belief, and I've maintained so consistently, that if you must answer His Excellency, the process through which you arrive to office must be excellent. We must now require that we do the right things in order to generate the required confidence and moral authority to lead. As you know, the destruction of a society begins and gradually progress when we act rascally or with deliberate manipulation of the rule of law and suppression of the will of the people. During my campaign process, I would say that we will govern by the rule of law, because we know what not doing that will bring about. And that's why we insisted that. Let me reiterate, and I assure you that good people of Nigeria that will explore all legal and peaceful action to reclaim our mandate. We won the election, and we will prove it to Nigerians. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How is everything? I'm sure are you upbeat for the fight ahead? We have a legal fight ahead. Fight to get our mandate back, and we're going to do it. I see a lot of people who have been saying one thing about, oh, you know, the courts, they control the courts, they control the courts, and the people are saying, oh, you can't get your mandate there, it's not possible, they're trying to give up. They do not control the courts. They want you to believe they control the courts. So it's an illusion. I'm telling you, it was the same thing with Lagos. Many people believe that Tinubu could not be defeated in Lagos. Many people, in short, anybody you talk to, they'll tell you, when we were doing that, we say, look, we have, for all the states, Lagos was the one I knew we had in the back, more than anything. And people will say, no, it's not possible. The only reason why it was possible for them to keep a hold of that Lagos was simply because that people believed he had the power. It was an illusion. And so, because people believed that he had the power, he controlled Lagos, they didn't bother to come out and vote. Like, okay, what's the essence of coming out and vote? Just like what we've had all this, so they say political, what's the essence of coming out to vote? You understand? They do not own the judiciary. It's an illusion, and that illusion, on this case, by the grace of God, is going to be scattered. You will see it on this case, in this case. There is no, we've never as a people focused on the judiciary. All this one, we are focused on the executive and the legislative arm of government. Now, the Nigerian people, now is the time for us to focus on the judiciary. All those judges, every one of them will put a torchlight on them. Every one of them. All the cases, this is not the case that, oh, it's only the whole Nigeria. Because it is our mandate that was stolen. I delivered my polling unit. You cannot change my result. Just put the result. We are not asking for anything else. Put the result that came from my polling unit. Otherwise, I'm also a witness. You are also a witness. So don't be afraid, all this fear, whatever. Forget it. They don't own the judiciary. They're telling you go to court, go because they think you believe that illusion and think they own it. They don't own anything. Just as you see, they don't have any political power. It's just because people have not been participating. All that killing, rigging, all those criminal things, we will never participate in it. We will do everything in a clean manner. Thank you, everyone.
My heart will always be there, standing in line with that young boy, waiting patiently for that day when our hopes will come. Mahmoud Yakubu, count our hope. For it is bearable, it is honorable to lose in a contest that is fair. But nobody who steals political power will use it for good. Mahmoud Yakubu. Count our vote. I voted for Peter Obi. But you see, I didn't jump that queue for Peter Obi. I didn't smuggle anybody into the polling booth for Peter Obi. I didn't brandish a knife or threaten anybody in my polling unit for Peter Obi. I did not snatch a ballot box, stuff a ballot box, break a ballot box for Peter Obi. I did not bribe anybody to change results for Peter Obi. I did not steal. I did not kill for Peter Obi. What I did for my candidate was stand in line. From 8 in the morning on Saturday till 8 in the morning on Sunday. And when the sun got too hot and I thought of going back home, I remembered shot to death on the train to Kaduna. And I stood. And when the heavens opened and poured down rain, and I thought of running to find shelter, I remembered. Stuck at home because of ASU strike. And I stood. Through my hunger, through my thirst, through my worry about whether the children I left at home were fine. I stood. Because what I wanted to give my candidate, what I ended up putting in that box, was not a piece of paper. What I ended up putting in that box was my hope for a country where young people would not be so disillusioned by the actions of their own parents, of their own leaders, that they will be willing to risk crossing the Sahara Desert on foot just to escape. That was what I put in that book. That was what my presiding officer refused to upload.